So let's start. So first of all, I would like to thank Securityboat for organizing such a talk and giving us an opportunity to speak in front of so many talented folks in the security domain. So let's clap for them. So today's my topic is uncovering and exploiting XSS, IDOR, and SSRF issues. So you can expect this to be like my personal case studies. I won't be diving deep into these topics, but I will be sharing some of the issues I have found in the popular web applications. So let's start. Next slide. So my introduction, I'm Pratik Yadav, and my experience is like from the first to fifth, it's just an internship while I was doing, completing my computer engineering. So, and after COVID, I got an opportunity at taxful.com as a security engineer. Like Taxful is a crypto exchange company in Europe. And then later this year I joined nuance.com. It's also a crypto exchange company. It's also in Europe. So and as a side hustle, I am also top 500 hackers on hackerone.com and background.com. Actually on hackerone.com, my rank is not highlighted on my profile, but if I go to the settings, this is what my rank looks like: 463, and on background it's I think 484. It will be goes up or down. And so next slide. So these are the companies that I have helped so far, and the list is quite huge, so I can't add all the images here, but these are all the companies that I have helped. And next slide. So let's start with the first topic. It's SSRF. So let's ask ChatGPT about it. Server-Side Request Forgery is a web security vulnerability that allows an attacker to induce a server-side application to make an HTTP request to an arbitrary domain of the attacker's choosing. Next slide. So let's see a live demo of I have set up a lab. I will be demonstrating how SSRF you can find and exploit SSRF. So this is the general methodology you can follow. Like you can use the application as a normal user. Try to go through all the features the web application has. Then in the first HTTP history you can see all the logs, and you can try to find the endpoints which is capable of making an HTTP request to an arbitrary domain, or it's making an outbound request. So it is a potential candidate for finding an SSRF issue. So the features which we can test SSRF is there in some web application there will be a feature to upload an image to an URL. So it's a very potential target for SSRF, and then we can use then there is a file upload, then webhook, then any parameter which makes an HTTP request. So I will be demonstrating it. So this is the target web application. So this is the target web application that we are using here. So the first thing we will do is here the URL parameter is vulnerable to SSRF. Let's try to confirm this by checking google.com. You can see that google.com is loaded on our web application. Then the second step that we can do is we can try to identify where the server is running. So let's try to use our webhook, and then we will be adding our webhook server here, and we got the response of our the webhook. And if we check the logs, we are getting our IP. The attacker will be getting the IP where the web server is running. It's 54.162.1.86. So if we check the lookup, and we can see here is it belongs to Amazon. So we can now we can try to escalate this SSRF to get the AWS metadata IP, and so let's try. So this is the URL input. Here we will be adding this. This is the URL for AWS metadata. So we got this details, right? So now we can go to latest. Then metadata. Here we have then metadata. then security groups. The main step here was to, we are trying to, identify the role name of the server. So, I am security credentials. Zoom. So this is the role name of our S3 access. Then we can, try to get the AWS credentials for it. You can see we got access key, secret key, and token. So then, we can use AWS client to, dump the bucket or, the permissions of those API keys which are linked. So, I will be sharing this personal case studies now. It's, a very short demo. So, this case study is, in the first step, like I tried to, hit this AWS metadata IP, the application was pretty secure, so it denied my request. So in the second step, I tried every encoding, it failed. But the next thing is, they have the proper blacklisting of this URL. So what I did, I used bit.ly. I think everyone knows it. It's a URL shortener. So I created the shortened URL of AWS metadata IP. Then I tried to, so this is the web application. Here there was a feature called as developer. So I created a webhook of that shortened URL, and then I created an invoice. There is a feature here, invoices. So when we create an invoice and webhook gets triggered. So in the response you can see we got the initial step, and then we can go forward with security credentials, and then we got the role name here. We got the role, and then we can create this links using this. This is the link which we created for bit.ly 169.254.169.251 latest metadata IAM security credentials, and this is the shortened link. So the next step would be to add that role name at the end and create another shortened URL. And as expected that we got the access key, secret key, and the tokens. So then we can use to enumerate the permissions, but it was already confirmed, so I directly reported it. So I reported it to the company, and they rewarded me with $7,000, I think $7,000 as a bounty for this. And the other techniques for SSRF is the blind SSRF, and the second one is DNS rebinding. So let's talk about DNS rebinding because it's very I think very interesting topic and overlooked. I think most of the people don't try DNS rebinding. So for example, here you can see the developers have proper they are very much aware about this SSRF issues. So they have proper blacklisting and they are denying all the requests to AWS IPs. So what we can do is we can use these services. I have some like you can use these services here, and this is the service that you can use for trying DNS rebinding attack. So in the first A record you can add any whitelisted IPs that they don't filter. You can add any domain here. So or here, and in the B you can add that AWS metadata IP. And similarly, there is another very good tool for this. This is by OneUMS, and this is the tool that you can use. I think you can bookmark this tool because it's very useful for testing this DNS rebinding attacks. And so if you see, this is the IP. If you try to so if we test this, as you can see, the first time we hit this detect command, it gives us this A record to 208 91.112 that we use. I will make some changes here. We are not getting this, codes right now. But this is the tool that you can use for testing DNS rewinding. It's by the Nix, and he recently, introduced a new class of vulnerability that is through image upload. So, and to fix this thing, SSRF, when the first thing is we can use IMDS version 2 to fix this. Suppose we can't fix the SSRF through, just updating the version to IMDS 2. But it's better to not allow attackers to get our AWS return ID. So what we can do here is, as a security engineer, you can just ask the security team to change, modify the instance metadata options. Then you can choose this and yes, we do as required. And then you can save. Then if you try to again list this private this SSRF, you get unauthorized. So it's the first thing that you can do as a security engineer is to just update it to and we do. It's recently it has been introduced by AWS since the customers were getting hacked due to this SSRF issue. So now it's by default and DSP2 is set as enabled. But if the application is very old and the developers are not aware about this, then they are vulnerable to this. If you guys need anything, I should go back or go back to some topics. Or should I slow down a bit?
I have one question. How did you got that IP address of AWS in the very first example? I didn't get that.
Sorry.
First example where you were showing the SSRF का testing.
Yeah.
You put URL is equal to google.com. उसके बाद you did URL is equal to some IP. How did you got that public वाला IP?
Actually, it's a webhook service, right? You can use any server or webhook that you own. So when you try to hit that server, you will get 10 requests from that vulnerable server to your.
It's like how we do search on Shodan, like any search, कोई भी server हम उठाते हैं Shodan पे, जो भी publicly available है, तो वैसे आपने किया?
नहीं.
Actually वो IP AWS IP metadata IP वो कहाँ से?
वो metadata वो तो publicly
था already.
वो तो Amazon का अगर आप documents read करेंगे तो वो AWS का metadata IP वो जो fix रहती है 169.254.169.254 ये prefix मतलब पहले से उनका metadata की IP है.
Okay, उस पे आपने hit किया?
हाँ उस पे.
Okay, and then you got all the.
First step था कि हम लोग ये पता करना था कि backend को कौन सा service use कर रहे हैं. Like ये metadata की जो IP है उस सब जगह तो work नहीं हुई थी. Like so in case ये वाले केस में वो Amazon यूज कर रहे थे AWS. So वो हम लोग पता किया ये वाले स्टेप से जब हमने इनका ये लुकअप किया तो यहाँ पर Amazon का हम लोग को पता चला. So समझो आप गूगल कर सकते हो AWS के IP तो आपको गूगल पे डॉक्स में वो IP मिल जाएगी.
You can do ChatGPT also. ChatGPT easy रहेगा ना.
This is what the developers will be thinking this is the whitelisted IP, but the second time the IP gets changed. So Now let's talk about how I was able to change XSS, IDOR, and I was able to take over any wallets, crypto wallets. It was on an NFT marketplace, and I have also written a blog post about it. But now I think I can share your video demo, and it will be very interesting to see. Actually, this is the video POC that I sent to the company. So, I haven't changed anything. It's just how I send reports to the company. So, let's start. This is the company that was vulnerable to this issue, and the issue was that there is a link feature where we can add our Instagram and Telegram link, I think. So the attacker is trying to capture his own request here in the first step. Attacker. So this is the attacker's request, and he captures that post request which is making the changes to his profile, and this is the post request. So as you can see here, there is no authentication cookies or authorization headers. This is how things work because there is something called as signatures. So in this step, I will try to steal those signatures. So we can, after stealing those signatures, we can make arbitrary transactions from those accounts and try to steal the NFTs. So in the Instagram and Twitter link, this is just a confirmation of the issue, and we will try to explain it later on. This is the payload that we are using. So in the Twitter link, you can see I added this payload. The request is this XSS is still on the attacker's page. So maybe you can call it as self XSS. But so if we click on this icons, Twitter link, we got the XSS, right? So stored XSS. So now we will be using an IDOR to make the changes to anyone else account. So now we will be changing the account address to victim's strong wallet. This was the very simple issue, but I am trying to show how we can change security issues to achieve something critical. So this is the victim's wallet address. Wallet address is the public information. You can